I got.
Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner, still bald. Uh, and again, this is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. So this is actually our live show. Earlier we had our podcast where we were not live, where we discussed other topics. But today we want to discuss this live, and of course it will be about Dr. Umar Johnson in a podcast that he was on, and I'll give a little bit more information about that right before we get started. I don't see anybody in the comment section just yet, so I'll wait. Okay, I see people starting to come in. So Donovan, how are you doing? And I should also say, you guys know we were not here 2 Sundays in a row because I was traveling. We were not here for Tuesday's show last week or Walter's show on Wednesday, but we are back now. I'll be back here for a while. I'm not going anywhere. So hello, Detroit man. How you doing in Black America? Donovan, what say you?
Hey, again, welcome to the Demetra K podcast. Good to see you. This is live. We are live. You guys see a banner scrolling at the bottom. If you so wish and want to donate to the show, please do so. It helps Demetra put out more content and things of that nature. Also, don't forget to check out Brother Phil on the African Diaspora News Channel and the Philip Scott podcast and show. Really good stuff coming out of there. But Demetra, you were gone. Please, we need to know, what was your excuse for your absence, other than spending Father's Day with your father?
I just, was on a vacation, went on a cruise with my family. And of course, you guys know I'm from California, so I went to visit my family for a little while. Nothing major. Of course, Father's Day, my father. Just spending time with family. My niece, of course, she graduated on her way to UCLA, so she had a giant party that Walter probably will never financially recover from, but I don't think he's too mad about it. But anyway, I'm back now. So who else came on here? Ebony, how you doing?
Yeah, he's playing the long game. And real quick, before you get into that, you guys, it's absolutely free. Please, on the way in, even on the way out, hit that like button. It is free. It helps the algorithm and gets the information out. And please like, share, and subscribe on your platform.
Yes, indeed. So, okay, Ebony, how you doing? And Sherry, what's going on with you? Tisha, how you doing? Black America, you crazy. You talk about start the damn show. Hello, Easy, how you doing? It says, D, can you do that trampoline move again? You crazy. Oh, you talk about from earlier show, and not on purpose, I won't. Supreme 10, how you doing? It says this Umar Johnson panders at best. Okay, well, we're going to see. All right, so let's get into it, okay? Dr. Umar Johnson, I don't think he needs too much of an introduction, because you guys know who he is. I guess he's a scholar, but he's a psychologist. And that's why he has a doctor psychiatry, I guess it is. Of course, you guys know he has been embroiled in some sort of scandals. Of course, people, alleged about the school he's taking money. I have no knowledge of that. I'm just telling you what they said. But Dr. Umar Johnson, I think a lot of people will admit that he is a very wise man, and he does not hold back when it comes to speaking his mind about things in the Black community, including administering a lot of lashes to people who he deemed to not be on code. Of course, he talks about people, brothers having snow bunny crisis, and also the sisters who, I don't know what he calls the white men, but the sisters who delve into the jar of mayonnaise themselves. So recently he was on a podcast called The Wrap Up Crew, which is the first time I've ever heard of them. And they talked about all kinds of things, the usual stuff that Dr. Umar usually talks about, from racism, group economics, and they also talked about his school. But then the issue of Black women and feminism came up, and it was a heated conversation, I would tell you that. But this is a snippet that I've seen going around the internet. So I want to say that I did see it in the public domain, but I do also want to give them credit. The Wrap Up Crew, the whole interview is on their YouTube channel. So I'm going to show it to you guys right now. Hopefully it acts right. So here it goes.
Owner at? Where your city council person at? we abandon black boys, and then we blame black men for poor choices in mates that they should not even have to make if we did a better job raising our boys the right way. At the end of the day, if I'm gonna call myself a man, the ultimate responsibility for reconstruction of the black community rests with me. Yes, they have a role. Yes, they have responsibility. But as a man, as a leader, to say I can't fix this shit unless she changes, that's not the definition of a man.
I don't see. I think we're on two different accords. Like, I don't think we're saying that. What I'm saying is I'm capable of being that leader, that provider. I've worked hard in my life. You get what I'm saying? I should not have to do.
You still go back to individualism.
But I only feel like we tell black men that we have to now deal with masculine women with children.
Why is she masculine? Because she's had to raise the kids alone. Not one woman,
so
brother, a whole community.
So you mean to tell me the only woman I could look forward in my life is a masculine woman that has kids by other men?
No.
That's what I have to look forward to?
But I'm telling you, mistakes made by black men systemically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than what he should be. And I'm telling you, black men are responsible for her being masculine because we have not helped her raise them children. When I say help them raise them children, I don't mean you as the stepdad. I mean you as an active member in the community where we go to every single parent black mother and say, how many sons you got? 2? How many sons you got? 2? Well, guess what? That's your son's big brother. That's your son's big brother. He taking them to school. He doing the homework. He gonna spend a couple hours with them every Saturday. He got his own kids too, but he gonna make time for you. She got masculine because she had to become masculine in order to deal with the rape, the abuse, the domestic violence, the disappointments that men had in her life, and also raising those kids and have to take care of herself all at the same time. The black woman has been the be all in all in our community for half of a century. And now we want to turn around and say because she didn't do it perfectly enough or remain feminine enough when she had to absorb our responsibilities plus her own, that's insensitive and disingenuous.
So I'm going to remove him from the studio. So, of course, the interview was a lot longer. Again, I want to say that it was on the Wrap Up crew on YouTube. If you guys want to check out the whole interview, I will tell you it was very dynamic and amazing. I also kind of want to say, too, that big ups to those guys for one, having him on there, but also big ups for allowing Dr. Umar Johnson to eat their lunch. Because every which way they tried to go, and I don't know, maybe I'm seeing it from a different point of view, and blaming black women or assigning, blame for her being masculine, this, that, and the other, Dr. Umar shut them down. I mean, it was to the point to where it was like, oh, okay, that's fair. Okay. So I want to say to them, A, for effort, but Umar is he's even harder than I to debate. Can you imagine that? I'm just kidding. So anyway, from what I took from that segment is that he says brothers are partially to blame for the rise of masculine sisters, right? Because we know that's a complaint amongst men and especially black men that black women have become masculine and we're not resting in our femininity or this soft girl era thing I've been hearing about. And he said that's partial. Black men are partially to blame, and you're also responsible for reconstructing the black community. Now, throughout that interview, and Tisha, yes, he did make the difference between that because, as I always say on here too, they kept on wanting to talk from an individual standpoint. He was like, nah, we're talking about the community. We're not talking about just you. We're talking about the community. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to read the rest of these comments, Donovan. I'm going to let you have your say, and I'm going to put the link in the comment section if anybody wants to come up. I'm not going to really have an opinion right now. I'm just going to listen to what you guys want to say about what Dr. Umar said. And I'm also going to say this, when I do open up the link and you guys come on here, please, no back and forth. I do not like to mute people's mics, but I will do that for the sake of not having an argument, because when you guys listen to this back, if you do, on the other end, it's so nobody can even understand what you're saying anyway. So I would that if somebody is speaking, even if it's uncomfortable to hear what they're saying, unless they're calling names and I won't intervene, something like that, let them finish what they're saying, and then you can interject. Also, be mindful if I have more people on the screen, please do not, and I hate to use this word, but hog up the time by going into a diatribe, if you will, because be mindful that other people do want to speak as well. So I hope we're all clear on that. So let's see who else came on here. And Donovan, I'm gonna hear what you got to say. Where'd I go? And a lady, how you doing? Says another educated woman. Congrats, talking about my niece. Yes, indeed, going off to UCLA. Hi, Troy. How you doing? Honeydew, what's going on? We missed you too. Believe it or not, I really did miss y'all. I was like, damn, I want to go live, but there was no reception in the big Pacific Ocean, And let's see, Tisha, you say you saw the full interview. It was good, wasn't it? And Ebony, you say you can't stand him. Now, who is that? Umar or somebody else? Black America says, Miss D, you are becoming red pill. I beg to differ. I think it's common sense. Now, I would not call myself red pill. I think you're talking about from the last show that Donovan and I did. I just think a lot of that is common sense. And let's see here. Tisha, he says it was heated indeed. Yes. And James, how you doing? Says, I don't agree with everything he says, but he makes a lot of good points. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Let's see here. Oh, lady, you crazy. But Keisha, you said that's basically what the guys were saying. What about her? Tisha said he was talking about community, not individualism. Absolutely. Lady says a masculine equals being an adult. Honeydew says black men put in a predicament as well to separate. And Oli Pamela's way, how you doing? And Sherry, you keep saying can. What is can? K-A-N, if you don't mind me asking. Hey, Brother Reggie, how you doing? And let me just skip down to somebody who has not come on here. Miss Sweet Talks, how you doing? And Donovan says, I totally disagree with Dr. Umar is saying. It's not the community's job to raise other kids in the sense of life. Tisha says, like at a funeral, you got 1 minute for reflection. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And hey, D. Griffin, how you doing? Love and light to you as well. And everybody says, can you give people 3 minutes to respond? 2. And then we can fill in the blanks. Because if it's just you on the screen, then yeah, we'll have a dialogue, if you will, or whatever, between Donovan and I. But if there's more people on, I cannot allow people to just lay into, well, what happened was, not saying anybody's doing it. But from 1986, I want to give y'all a whole story of what not. Listen, I'm also going to ask y'all to, unless it's absolutely necessary, please do not give us a history lesson or anything like that. Let's just stay on topic for the sake of time. All right, Donovan.
Well, like I said, I'm not a big Dr. Umar fan, and I want to take this from the context of where I was raised and how I came into being. I do not believe it is the community's responsibility to raise other people's children or other person's mistake in the aspect of life. That's not a thing. Number 2, show me where there's a Black community. We don't have Black community anymore. That's gone and forevermore. Now, can we have more Black communities in the future? If we don't get our shit together, it's a wrap for Black people. As we say right now, the Democrats are doing everything they can to destroy the Black family, the Black community, and they've done a great job already. And unfortunately, after all that this administration has shown us in regards of how they feel about Black people, Black women, pro-life, and all that other stuff, and bringing these other groups in here, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. You still have a good 80-something% of us that will openly support the Democratic Party, but we talk about community and we can't even save ourselves. So in the aspect of Dr. Umar, I really don't have much to say because that's his opinion. But again, I was raised in a different environment overseas where, it was a little different for me. I do not believe it is my responsibility to help raise somebody else's children or the mistakes that they made in the choices of spouses or people that they deal with.
Exactly. I love that y'all understanding where I'm going with all of that. We don't need no soliloquies and none of that stuff. Just come on, say what you got to say. Listen, I don't want to limit you, what you're saying. I'm just saying be mindful of the time constraint. Because you guys know, on a lot of other people's shows, they be like, all right, that's enough, click. I don't like to do that to people, but in a roundabout way, I kind of understand because, I get it. Some people have a lot to say, but let's just try to dwindle it down. Because trust me, when me and Donovan be talking on the podcast, I could go on forever, but then I'm like, oh yeah, Donovan is on here. You know what I mean? I got to give him a chance to speak. So I get it. All right. So I'm going to put the link in the comments section right now. So the link is open. So I'm going to address you guys' comments. And teacher says, comment, Donovan, what happened to It Takes a Village? And Ascent, how you doing? He says, Dr. Umar, and I guess you meant with a king symbol there. He's a king. And Ebony says, that's not what doctor said. It's the fatherless he's speaking about. And Miss Sweet Tasha said, it starts at home. And let's see here. And IW, I think that was means. How you doing? Says it takes a village. It does. And King GP, how you doing? Says I agree with Dr. Umar to a degree, but not all the way. Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that we don't agree with everything somebody says, right? Yes. How you doing, Tip Tops? He did make great points.
Yeah, no, he makes great points. But again, when people talk about it takes a village. The minute that the teacher says something and calls the parent to come down there to deal with the child, or the child did something, what do the modern parents do? They go down there ready to whip the teacher's ass. So all this, it takes a village, and all this cynicism and people that we talk about, it's BS. We don't even live by what we're saying. We love symbolism. Oh, it sounds good, but are we putting it in practice? No, we're not. And that's the fact.
Well, and let's see here. Miss Sweet Talk says Dr. Umar went to school to help the community village. And he talked about that too. He broke it all the way down as to what happened from beginning to end, why he even wanted to start school. So it's a great interview. You guys want to check it out. He addresses the school toward the end of the interview. And let's see here. Sherry says, because of the setbacks our people have endured, we have to rally for each other. That is absolutely true. And I agree with you guys. It does take a village. But as far as the community is concerned, we need to build a community. And he made great points saying that it is on the men to, he says, and I wrote it down, he says to reconstruct the community. It's on Black men to do that. Because a lot of times we do hear, about Black women being masculine. And I would agree that the Black community is probably more matriarchal than patriarchal, and it should not be that way. It should be the other way around. I'm not talking about patriarchal in the sense of, I know a lot of women probably was like, oh my God. I'm talking about in the sense that it is led by men, not the point to where they suppress women. Okay, so that's not where I'm going with that. I even hate that I have to say that, but I just feel like I did. But yeah, he's basically saying it's up to the Black men to reconstruct the community. So he didn't say that there was a community necessarily. He says it's up to Black men to reconstruct that. And if I can paraphrase it, basically stop making excuses as to why you can't be a man and do what men do. And he said that as men, we shouldn't be making excuses for how our community is run. And we cannot continue blaming Black women for that until we also understand the role that we played in it. He says, basically with all the back and forth that's going on online with the gender wars, he says, neither Black men or women rarely talk about systemic reasons as to why our community operates the way it does. I give a perfect example. A lot of times on the show, and you guys, the link is open if you want to click and come on. A lot of times on this show, we always hear about people saying, oh, feminism. It was feminism. Feminism is the reason why the Black kids. And it's like, come on, man. Really? Let's give it a little bit more context than Black women sold out their man for a welfare check and some food stamps. It's a little bit more to it than that. And that's why Black America, I say I'm not red pill at all, because I do know that red pill, the manosphere, whatever it is, it does have, because those brothers on that particular show, they had the red pill manosphere talking points, and Dr. Umar just shot holes all up and through them. It was like, knock it off. Knock it off. Nobody is expecting y'all to marry masculine women, but what you cannot do is talk about masculine women without talking about why that woman is masculine, right? So anyway, the link is open. Donna, if you want to comment, I'll go back into the comment section.
Well, no, like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, whatever the situation is. I'm just one of those people. I'm a realist. There is no Black community anymore. There hasn't been a Black community for a very, very long time. So what he's saying in principle, I agree with, but the fact of the matter is it doesn't exist. If Black men specifically, if we're talking about Black men specifically, reasserted themselves, there would be a mass rebellion because women actually feel they don't need men. They can do it on their own, whatever, all this other stuff, even though everything that they enjoy was built by men. But, they believe all of this stuff. So, in regards to, how I feel, the community didn't help me raise my children. I raised my children. So when we're talking about like men and, there's all, everybody's a little bit different. And there are some good men that actually did that. Even though I was separated from my children, I still helped raise my children to the best of my ability. It's just that I just don't agree. I agree with, it's almost to me like reading a book. If you guys read like Judge Dredd or one of these futuristic books, like, one day it's going to be like that. Like reading the Bible. One day it's going to be like that. We keep getting fed this. Either we're a community or we're not a community. And the fact is, we haven't been a community in a long time. And I personally don't think we will ever get back to that, because once that genie is out of the bottle, it will never come back. Show me a woman who's leading her family, is doing all right, she's educated, she got all this stuff like that, she's going to subject herself to a man. Ain't going to happen.
And the creed, man, how you doing? I'm going to read what you said. To the people that don't believe it takes a village to raise a child, don't get mad when it's your child in the news. It does take a village, because I tell the story all the time. Well, my mom, when she was a kid, she said she got smart with a lady a couple of blocks up, from her house. And the lady slapped the taste out of her mouth. So by the time she got home, now you got to remember, my mom was born in 1949. So I'd imagine this happened sometime in the 50s. I don't know how much, many telephones and stuff that they had, but I imagine they had some between that lady and my grandma. So by the time she got home, my grandma heard about it and slapped her again. So she got re-slapped.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish. She got re-slapped for getting smart with the lady. So what I'm saying is, it does take a village, because my grandma could have easily said, "Oh, hell no, heifer, you don't be slapping on my child," and then went down there and they would have got into some real gangster stuff, right? But my grandma was like, "All right, you got smart with Miss So-and-so. Okay, let me bring your face up over here. Let me slap you again. Let you know that I am a part of the village and she is a part of the village. And we, between the both of us, will not allow you, little girl, to be running around here getting off, saucy and smart with, grown women." That's a village. Now, I'm not saying the village always got to be comprised of violence, but the village needs to be on one accord if we are going to save the village, because the village cannot catch on fire. And then we say, well, I know it take a village, but I ain't going to pick up no water hose to help put the fire out. I'm just going to stand. I'm going to make sure my house is protected. But guess what? When the village burns, your house is in that village.
Right. Now, again, I didn't say there wasn't a community. That community that you talked about is our parents' generation, the 1950s. That was over 60, 70 years ago. Okay, that's what we're talking about. That door has been closed. I'm not saying it can't reopen, but the fact for it to reopen, like you just said, it's going to take women, it's going to take the men. Now, if the men assert themselves, women have to, if men are supposed to be the leaders, are women willing to be subjugated, what's the word that they use? Not subjugated, but to take the role as the vice president? Are they willing to do that? See, we could go back in time and talk about what used to be. We're talking about today. I think the genie is out of the bottle, because what happens today when a child is out of line in the community? They're jumping on the damn teacher. Don't talk to my child, whatever. I'm not saying reality. I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. That era is long gone.
Black America, how you doing? And how you doing, Show Shot? How you doing, Black America? Long time no see or hear. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to make it quick. Ms. D, can I make you do anything? Can I tell you what to do?
I'm gonna preface it with this. It depends on what it is.
Nope. It's a yes or a no.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
Why is it?
Because
it's a yes or a no.
If you told me to jump off a damn roof, am I going to just do it? No. So it depends on what it is.
That's what the problem is.
Why?
Because as a woman, you are supposed to respect men. You guys, as women, it doesn't matter. Women say, I'll follow him if he's a good leader. You don't know what a leader is telling you to do if you have bad followership. You have been following your father. He's a Muslim. I'm a Christian. I'm going to make you do things that your father would not do. Being under me, I have to be in charge. To protect you, I have to have control. If I don't have control, then there is no conversation. There is no community. Just like Donovan said, I'm sorry. It's no community. Like he was saying, as a football coach, kids, mothers standing up, woman, I'm a couple of 100 pounds. Like it's nothing that you could do to me. Y'all, like you would have to go get your daddy and your uncles. So women won't listen to men. There is no consequences for that. There is no community.
Okay. So, and King GP, can I see your face really quick before I bring you up? I don't know if he's even there, but I'll look for him to show me his face before I bring. I don't think King GP's ever been up here, but I just want to be sure. So okay, you said a lot, but I want to address this. This is the problem that I think some men have. Just because you a man, you got some things swinging between your legs. That don't mean that you can just give a directive to any woman and she'll take it. You got to be, yes, you got to be in a position to be able to tell me something. Just because you a man, I don't know you. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, my daddy, my brothers, or men, a man I'm with, you know, or a man that's in my life, you know, whatever. Yeah, he can tell me what to do, but it depends on what you telling me what to do. Because you a man, I'm supposed to just do anything you tell me to do. That's not how it works. And I guarantee you, none of your mamas, Donovan, you are Black America. None of your mamas gonna just listen. I guarantee you, if the mailman came up to your mama right now, Donovan, of Black America, and said, give me 5 jumping jacks, she ain't gonna say, well, because you a man, I'ma do it. She gonna be like, man, if you don't drop my damn mail off and get the hell up out my face. So there's context to it.
No, because again, a woman, whoever man she is with, she's got to be willing to accept that leadership. You're absolutely right. My mom's not going to listen to the postman, but she's going to listen to her husband.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Don't think just because you a man, you get a woman is going to listen to what you say. I mean, there's got to be more to it. And even if it is my man, I'm not going to just say yes to anything, because I want to make sure it's in my best interest. That's why I've been given the innate, ability to use wisdom. We all have been given that. So, of course, if I'm with my man, and hopefully he's going to give me some good advice, instruction, whatever, to where I'm not going to be bucking his authority. But see, then I'm not going to be with a man that I feel like he's trying to put me at risk or in danger. But there needs to be a little bit more to it. And I wish to God that you men, some of y'all, not all, Black America, y'all stop preaching that to men and women that y'all just need to just listen because I'm a man. That's not how that works. Because Charlie Manson is a man, or he was. And look what happened to the people that listen to him. King GP, let me see your face. I would love to bring you up and hear your opinion.
That Charlie Manson is going far to the left. I'm saying, as a man and a woman, if a woman doesn't follow the man, doesn't listen to the man, the whole thing breaks down. You are valued counsel. If we are driving in a car somewhere and we riding up the 17 out of Texas going into Oklahoma, and you say, hey, that thing said the last gas station for 125 miles, I'm gonna need to use the bathroom soon, then I'm going to take that into consideration. You see what I mean? It's not that I'm not listening to you and you're not listening to me. The problem nowadays is the women will not listen at all. They won't. They don't have to, because like you just said, they feel like they're smart. They feel like they're intelligent. They don't need to listen. You're going to start seeing it more and more. I see your eyes. The veil is coming off of your eyes. You becoming more and more red pill. I seen the video you put while you was on vacation. I was like, oh shit, she is red pill. That video about them women, because you're starting to see the things that men see, and you don't even realize it. You're just speaking it right now. You don't really realize what you're seeing.
I would say this, and Donovan can attest to this. This is not, I don't have a problem speaking on the sisters as I am one, just like I don't have a problem speaking on the brothers. I'm equal opportunity, and I'm not saying that as that though I'm perfect. I got issues too, nothing like some of those things, but I speak on both. This channel, you will never find one or the other. Because I agree with Dr. Umar in that it's both of our responsibilities to get this community off the ground, but it's more so on the men. You know, a man cannot continue. I get that you guys have legitimate beefs, you do, but that does not give you an excuse not to, as he said, reconstruct the Black community. So,
how are men supposed to do that without the cooperation of women? Let's look for a solution in that. Is there a way? Is there a solution that a man could actually do that with pushback from the women in the community at the same time?
Well, he also spoke to this, and I speak to this a lot as well. I think women need to be made, be able to be put into to a position to not be masculine and to be more feminine, because I do agree that it is feminine to take direction from your man. However, I think it's just a fact that for whatever reason that man is not there, that sister has had to act masculine. It's masculine to protect. It's masculine to provide. It's masculine, you know, to have to do everything from the ground up for because your man is not there for whatever reason. I'm not saying whether she ran him off, whether he just decided not to be there. For whatever reason, he is not there. It's a copious amount of reasons. It is masculine for a woman to have to do that. Now, I think it's also not a secret that the Black woman is a single more than any other woman. The other women are not in a position to always have to be masculine. So to Dr. Umar's point, and to the point that I always make, if men would step up and act more masculine, because I'm probably going to get in trouble here. And oh my God, I have to pray. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, think 5 times before you speak. Okay. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying it, but, and I do love y'all. When I hear men complain a lot about certain things, I know that it is their job. What I hear is, as my nephew would say, my 5-letter kitty cat hurts. That's what I hear. You know, it's like, it's to me, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's just like, that to me is very feminine. Well, what about the woman? What about him? And why can't? That's feminine to me, because I have a very masculine daddy, and my dad is 79 years old, and I promise you, I'm not saying he never did. I just, in all my 52 years, have never heard my daddy say, "Well, what about the Black woman? And what about him? You know, well, I got feelings too. My, you know, hurt too." I never heard him do it. So when I hear men do it, I get repulsed by that. So when you say that I'm red pill, I got some things to say to the sisters, but I got things to say to their brothers too. And that's just one of them. I don't know. Probably got in a lot of trouble with that, but that's just kind of how I feel.
All right. Well, that's the way you feel about it. I'm going to drop down. I know you got people trying to come up. But once again, it's nothing that we can do, because my whole thing is, we love you as women, right? We love our women. You guys can't beat us running. You guys can't beat us wrestling, swimming, or arm wrestling. And we don't want to fight with you. And the only way to make a woman submit, as far as the community, for us to be doing something horrible to each other. It's not fair. No matter how much, it's like that girl Tia Mowry just got divorced from her husband. It doesn't matter if he's a good man, if he's a bad man. Women nowadays just want to do what they want to do. We can't beat you. We can't stone you. So we have to just turn our backs on you and leave you alone. That's why it's no community. But we can bone you, though. We can do that. We can have all kind of kinky circus sex with you. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna watch from the class.
I thank you so much, Black America. I do love and appreciate you. Miss Sweet Saki says, where are you leading us to? Are we allowed to ask questions or we should just listen? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. All right, so again, you guys, let me put the link in the comment. If you guys want to come on and, speak your piece, ask a question or anything like that. Hello, Ashley, how are you doing? And I see you guys' comments. I'm just right now trying to catch up and put people, say hello to people I have not seen. Let's see here. The Creed Man says the question to Black men is first, do you want to be with Black women? Answer it truthfully. I'm not asking, he's asking. Patty Brown, he says exactly a bunch of men with panties on. Put your drawers back on, brothers. I'm just saying. I'm saying y'all, but I'm just saying a lot of times when I hear a lot of men bitching and complaining, that's what I get repulsed, because to me, it just I don't know. It's just like, is that all you got? I thought you was a thundercat.
Right, but see, okay, now you look in the comments, the women are all saying the same playbook talking points that you guys have written down. But here's the thing. Now you're saying, oh, you don't like a man that does this or that, but then you also don't like a man that stands 10 toes down, Demetria. Now me and you and I, we don't always agree, right? And I'm going to stand on mine if I'm right or wrong. But the point is, we could get into what is it and the specifics of stuff. Back in the day when our parents and grandparents were the spouses, they listened to the husband. They didn't question, where are we going? What are we doing? You guys are antiquating today's standard to what happened 60 years ago. 60 years ago, family violence was normal. That was normalized 60 years ago. It was not unusual for the father to spank the kids and all this stuff. It was even done in schools. It was a different society. We have progressed to where we're at today. And too many of you guys are taking today, comparing it with yesterday. They're two different things. There's apples and oranges.
King GP, let me mute you just for a second. But yeah, I remember you now. Sorry about that. Okay, but so you're saying that it's two different communities, two different times. What happened to change, I guess, in your opinion, as far as women not listening to men? What happened? Why did that happen?
Again, it's very simple. Women got more liberated, and women came into the workforce. They found a way to bring the workforce, women to have, come into the workforce right now. More than 50% of all people in the workforce are women. More than 50%. That's a fact. So women want to work. They want to do this. They want to have the same stressors as men. Welcome to equality. This is what has happened. And in that time, things have changed. Women can now delete their children if they want to, no problem. Everything is different than it was then. We've got to stop antiquating what happened then to where we are at today. The question that we need to be saying, instead of all this divisiveness, like I said, I'm doing my best to not be divisive, is here's where we're at. Where are we going to go? As simple as that. I just put a question in the comments and said, right now, how many of you women will follow your man to where he's going to go? Most of them, I don't know, he did this and he did that. He dropped this. See, that's the problem. That's the problem that we're talking about. We're in a different mindset as it is. It's not going to happen. We can talk all this symbolism. It's not going to happen.
How you doing, Shirley? I'm going to just leave that comment right on up there. I ain't going to give it no commentary. Walk, if I didn't already, how you doing? Says, why Donovan talking like he old about back in the days? Ha, ha, ha.
See, that's our problem. We're having a serious discussion. Everybody's got the talking points and the BS jokes. The question is this: how do we move forward from where we're at, not from where we've been? Where do we move forward from where we're going right now? That's the question. Nobody seems to have an answer. Nobody seems to have an answer.
Well, I mean, there is an answer, and we keep having the answers. But, for whatever reason, they keep getting glossed over. But to kind of give what you said a context, as far as, women don't listen no more because we got jobs and all that other stuff. Why did women get jobs, especially the sisters? Because, like I said, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My grandmother, she worked. She was a domestic, if you will, but she did not carry the brunt of the household. I'm gonna bring you up. I'll put you on mute. There you go. So again, as how you doing? As Dr. Umar said, we need to also bring in the commentary of systemic and institutional racism that cause our homes to be the way they are. All right. So King GP, what's going on with you? Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's all right. But thing is, I have some input based on my own personal experience off of what Dr. Umar said. I think that he's right to a degree because thing is, I think it's because of the lack of black masculine modern men. Most modern black men lack masculinity. And then a lot of these dudes that are modern men in my generation, thing is, if I befriend a dude in my generation, most times his father wasn't around. Thing is, I attract fatherless guys as friends. And then thing is, like, every time I befriend one of those guys, I see the lack of masculinity in them. It's like they'll want to be like that type of friend that you feel like you can't get no long time being cool with them. And then that's why I'd rather be without friends. Every time I make a friend, it's a guy who was raised without his father, and he want to spend excessive amounts of time around me to the point where I feel like I can't get any time to myself. Thing is, even some of my old friends had girlfriends, and they still want to spend excessive amounts of time around me and tell me every little detail of what was going on with them and their girlfriend. So it's a lack of black masculinity in the modern generation that makes sisters have to be masculine because we lack masculinity in this generation. Like I said, I was born with a daddy and a mama. My mama was born 1964, and my daddy was born 1955, and they both raised me together. They was married for 4 years before they had me, and they've been married for 27 years now.
Yeah, and when people say women have to be masculine, see, I think that's a BS bullshit excuse. My mother was a widowed mother. Right. She still stayed in her femininity, raising 2 boys. So if they got to become masculine, that's a choice. When you're born a woman, you're a woman, period. When you choose to, I'm going to try to be a man and act like a man, that's on you. That has nothing to do with anything. My mother was a widowed mother, still feminine, and raised 2 boys. So, I all that stuff is just, it's ridiculous. When you're a woman, you're a woman.
Right. Well, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off, Demetria.
No, but go ahead, because what I was gonna say was gonna get me in trouble. So I'm just how you doing, Leonard? I'm gonna bring you up in just a minute. What I was gonna say is gonna get me in trouble. So go ahead, King.
All right. So basically, I wasn't saying that women have to be masculine. I'm talking about also. You're talking more so in raising children. Basically, I'm talking about in like as far as relationships. Thing is, it's a lack of black masculine men in this generation. I don't know what generation you come from, Donovan, but in my generation, I'm 23 years old. We lack masculinity in my generation.
I come from the 70s. I'm 53. So,
well, yeah, you my parents' era. So, yeah, I had an old school upbringing.
All right, so Mr. Roy, how are you doing? And Jalen, what's going on with you? So what's on your mind, Leonard? You got the let me okay, there you go. Okay, unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're rolling with Rush Town Management. All right. There's a lot of things that's been said going on, and I'm like, yeah, this Gen Z, woo, boy. Them that were not raised with a father, woo, serious problems. Oh, now before I start, I was sipping on some Yingling. I want to just turn the beer up on your stream if that's not permitted.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, if that's not permitted, then I'll just put an avatar or whatever. I sip me a little sip of my brew. Or
you can just wait until you leave off of here.
No. I don't. I sip at will, but I wouldn't do that to disrespect your show. I'm respectful when I get on people's panel. Now, I'm from the baby boomer generation. You know what I mean? So we different. we that doggone had and raised our, our sons, daughters, that were born in like the Gen Y generation, they move differently. And these Gen Zers, they got a whole lot of extra stuff going on that, people my age, because 5 more days I turn 60. You know what I mean? And hell, today's my aunt's birthday, the matriarch of the family. She's 98 years old today. And you have these young ones, they playing the blame game with all this systematic racism, sideways racism, slant-eyed racism, just all. I'm like, man, if y'all don't doggone dig y'allself, get y'all money, I listen to the people that were generations older than myself. They face real racism. This stuff going on today is real soft booty. You know what I mean? But they want to make like somebody was just strung up in a tree or something. It's like, it ain't that serious. See, what happened, this is just my opinion, I ain't no expert. You have people that doggone want to give their children everything that they never had, and they spoiled their children rotten. So now these children think that they're entitled to something that they're not entitled to. They don't think they got to work for it.
Got you.
They like, well, I want it. They act like if any of you all seen that movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the 1971 movie. Remember Faruka? No, Daddy, I want it now. I want it now. That's how a lot of them act. The men and the women. That's the reason they can't get along from nothing. Because everybody, the males and the females, think they deserve something that they don't have to work for.
Absolutely.
That's the problem in a nutshell. It had nothing to do with racism, sexism, or any other isms. It's people, they feel entitled and they think they deserve something just because they think they deserve it and they ain't putting no work in to get it.
Absolutely.
That's just my opinion. Now, y'all can take it when you want to. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion.
J. Joa, how you doing? And thank you so much for the donation. You know what? Your opinion is valid. I want to thank you so much. What did it say? Fifth Squadron 7. Okay. Miss Jalen.
Miss Jalen, yes, go ahead.
I'm part of the later end, the earlier end, with whatever you want to call it, of Gen Z. I'm at the beginning, kind of. So I'ma just take a back seat for a second and see where the conversation goes, and then I'll give my input, because yeah.
All right. All right, well, hang tight. Lion Yehuda, what's going on with you? Oops, let me unmute you. There you go.
Hey, how are you? How's everybody doing?
We're doing fabulous. How about yourself?
Awesome. Yeah, it's good. I just want to say a little piece. Let's keep in mind, as far as women being very masculine, there are 3 other M words. We've got money. Men make a lot more money. Maybe some women try to be a little more masculine so they can get the positions men have. And now that's one factor. There's another factor, which is there's more women than men. So some of them feel like, hey, some of us got to be studs out here. No, seriously, think about that. Like, but and then you have a lot of, this is a little different, but in music, most of the female rappers or influencers that are popular today are very, very manly. You've got Glorilla. Look at her name, first of all. Glorilla. Come on now. I can't even think of her song right now, but it goes harder than Django. Cardi B came out harder than Django. These are bloody shoes. Then you got Beyonce always saying, get off my D. Get off my D. In every song she's talking about, get off my D. You want to be a man or something? Think about that. Our music, and there's a new girl out who's been popping everybody on her right now. Scarlett, get the F out New York. Get the F out New York. I'm like, why? Why are women harder than us? That's part of the problem. The
I
people
wanna-
on top are influencing the girls on the bottom.
You know what though?
Industry is driving that.
Hold on a second. Okay, so Jalen, because you could probably speak to that because you know.
Sorry about that. My connection at buffered and it kicked me out for a second.
No worries. I'm gonna put you on mute. There you go, Jalen.
I'll mute myself so input.
Okay.
I don't have a study pulled up in front of me, but I would just implore that these men who feel as though females are very masculine these days look into the reasoning as to why, instead of just saying, you know, it's the music, or it's we want to be more masculine, or it's too many lesbians. I've heard that before. I would say it's mainly due to trauma. As women, we have experienced a lot of trauma in our life. A high number of us, actually, whether it's sexual assault, rape, we could go down the line with men, and it's caused us to psychologically become more protective of ourselves. And the fact that there's a lot of men who make jokes about it, as if we choose and want to be masculine, and we don't want to be taken care of, or we don't want to be quote unquote real women, it's kind of sad. I don't know. I wish more Black men would do more research instead of just blaming us for all of the issues in the Black community.
Well, there's no need to do research. You can just, anybody can say, hey, Google, who makes more money, women or men? So we know that men makes more money. Whoever makes more money is a greater influence on society. That's men. So a lot of women are going to want to be closer to men. If men are the heads on most of the jobs, then yes, women will try to, I need to be like Mr. Clark. You get what I'm saying? Because he's making a lot of money. So if I be more like him and stand strong and hard, then I can possibly be the president of the company too. That's definitely a factor.
Let me jump in here just for a second. Is it LW? I think it's LW. I hope I'm saying it right. IW. I'll say W. Said it's not women controlling that industry. Because, you know, I hear the complaints about Glorilla and, you know, all the other masculine women, but it's not women at the helm of those record companies. It's men. And even the men that are, I guess, what do you call the subsidiary record company? So you have a big record company, then you have the other labels underneath it. They're men. So we're complaining about the women being masculine. Well, we're not complaining about the men who own and control those record labels, putting out women who behave masculine.
They look for that image to push out. That's the intention.
It makes money.
Now, everyone on here is versus. Let me land this plane real quick. You all have heard about black on black crime, right?
Yes.
That's sensationalism. That's like when the media says it's going to be a long, hot summer. The only place I know of on Earth that has a long, cold summer is Alaska. The plane has landed.
Good point. Good point. But let's just think about this. Okay. If somebody said, Donovan, I'm going to give you $10 billion, all you got to do is sell all of these drugs and destruction to the community. Is it not on me to be an upstanding person in the community and not do that because I know it's advantageous to our community? You know, we can put it on, like I said, the record executives are absolutely right. But what kind of person are we dealing with that would willingly go ahead and okay, a good example, Cardi B. She won't let her daughter listen to the music that she puts out into the community. Why? Because she knows it's destructive.
Well, and also it's good parenting. There's things that our parents watched and they did that we weren't able to watch and listen to because it's just good parenting. And so I don't think I don't like a lot of things that Cardi B does. I do like watching Cardi B's evolution, But I don't think that Cardi B is to blame for your child being influenced by her music. That's your fault. So Cardi B is engaging in good parenting. I mean, I wouldn't expect for Cardi B. I mean, Madonna, who at one point in time was the filthiest woman on the planet, said that she would never allow her children to watch TV, listen to music, or any of that stuff because she knew what was out there. So you mad at Cardi B, or are you mad at the dumb parent for allowing their children to talk about Cardi B, or as I said yesterday in the video, Pound Town and all that other stuff? See, y'all mad at them, but you won't pull your children up off of TikTok. You won't take the apps off of your child's phone. You won't turn off the TV, but you want Cardi B to stop getting her coins because you too dumb to monitor your children. That's silliness. And to Easy's point, he says some destructive music that makes women masculine and men feminine. See, we don't have that conversation though about your Saucy Santanas and all these other dudes running around with BBLs and talking about they got imaginary kitty cats and all that other stuff. But we got a lot of conversation about Glorillaz and them asking masculine. But there's another, the dichotomy of that is the men running around here in skirts and high heels.
Well, you should have put that in the subject line instead of just saying, why are women so masculine? You should have said, why are women so masculine and why are men so feminine?
Well, I mean, but the subject line was in part to Dr. Umar, and when he said that brothers are partially to blame for the rise of masculine sisters, because the brothers on the podcast were complaining about masculine women. The women are masculine, and he asked the question, which I think it deserves an answer. Why are they masculine? I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a woman. I think I'm a very feminine woman, but I've had men on here, including Donovan, say that I'm masculine because I won't allow a man to talk to me any and all kind of way. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I know a lot of women. Most of my friends, if not all of them, say they would love to let a man come in, lead, pay all the bills. It's my pleasure, baby. How you want it, when you want it, all of that. But the problem is y'all want women to be that, but y'all don't really put the pressure on men to alleviate the woman for feeling masculine. Now, he also addressed that when he says, yeah, so there's a lot of women, when they do get a good man per se, they've had so much stuff happen to them. It is hard to trust that man is going to come in and be who he said he was going to be, pay the bills and all that other stuff. And I tell you, most Black women will tell you they've never benefited from a man completely taking care of all the bills where she could just take care of the house, be beautiful, feminine, and whatever the case is. I don't know too many sisters who say they've ever benefited from a lifestyle like that.
Can I add to that real fast?
I can tell you myself, my personal experience, okay? I was married, and all this woman had to do was kick back, watch the housewives of whatever all doggone day long. I was in the military, so I'm out 14 hours a day strong, doing my thing. All she had to do, her only job was to occasionally hit me off and not get on my nerves. And she couldn't do that right.
Okay, so you said it hates DSB. He says, Umar Johnson has no room to speak about FBA while out here buying a stripper. Okay, that was how many years ago? Like 10, 12 years ago that happened. And trust me, there's a lot of FBA brothers out there buying Punani too. Let's keep it a buck, okay?
Oh, and you brought up FBA. That's another interesting point, sister. You look at these Cardi B's and like this little one on here, Jesse Wu on Dish Nation. You got all of these non-FBAs, right? Kamala Harris, and thus and so, and all these people. Oh, yes, our sister, our brother. No, they're not. They are not FBA.
Well, let me say this.
Right.
Wait, hold on. How y'all doing? And I'm going to give this back to Jalen, and I'm going to give it back to Jalen. Let me say this. I get all the FBA stuff, and I don't have an issue with it at all. I really don't. I don't have a dog in a fight. I think that's the best way I can phrase it. Because I just try not to get into this sector of Black people, that section of Black people. I guess that's all I'm gonna try to say is just let's not be a little bit even more divisive, because we know that FBA is a term that came along within the last 5 years, give or take. I don't have a dispute with it, but I'm one of those people trying not to engage in a little bit more of the divisiveness. That person is not FBA. That person is not ADOS. That person is not a sneech. This person got 5 stars upon stars. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Jalen, what you got to say?
How do I say this? 37.8% of Black men are incarcerated. Of a population of Black men in America, 50% of them risk being in poverty permanently for the rest of their life.
My.
The more these men try to put the blame on Black women for their shortcomings, the longer and the more strenuous it will be for them to come out of their hole. You can't continuously blame the other gender for your shortcomings because they are yours. Just like Black women's shortcomings are ours. It can't be put on the other gender. You have to hold yourselves accountable.
When are women going to hold themselves accountable? Women are never held accountable.
I agree with her 1,000%.
Wait, hold on a second. You say you agree with her?
I agree with her 1,000%. Because I know a lot of dudes out here, I call them he cute does. They prancing around like little peacocks. They hobosexuals. They'd be a hobo if they wasn't living with a woman, providing a roof that they could have sex under. They ain't providing. Oops, I almost said the S word. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're allowed cussing on your panel. They are not providing nothing.
But let me answer that real fast. Hold
on, bro. Give me 10 seconds to land this plane. Then you get the sister. He cute though. What's his FICO score? The plane has landed. Exit.
All right.
About that. So basically, there's 2 things related to that I understand that most other guys in my generation don't seem to understand. Cause I used to get old school belt whippings when I was little. And that taught me 2 things. When I acted up in school, I used to get belt whippings. Then when I got 13, 14, thought I was a man, and my parents were already older, so I didn't think I had to listen to them. And they brought my big cousin in to discipline me when I got to be 13, 14. That taught me 2 crucial things leading into my adulthood that has something to do with what y'all was just talking about. That taught me 1, as long as I'm living in somebody else's house where I'm not paying the bills, I don't make the rules. Number 2, it taught me that if I ever think I'm big and bad, that taught me that there's always somebody out there that's bigger and badder than me. And most other people in my generation don't seem to understand that until they find out the whole.
So I guess I see a lot of people having a dispute with 38% of Black men are in prison. And I've seen some people say,
I got a question to 38%. Jalen, is that 38% of the 14% of our population, or is that 38% as Black people as a whole of the 14? Because that's a high number.
Now, I think what she's saying is, you know that there have been consistently 2 million more Black females born than Black men. Okay? Consistently. So I think she's just focusing on the percentages of the Black men only, not Black people as a whole.
But Leonard, let me say this. Let me give everybody else a chance to speak. And Jalen can clarify that for herself. So Jalen.
He already clarified it. If you think my stats are wrong, then research it yourself and provide a counter argument. That's all I'm going to say. If you think it's wrong, provide a counter argument. If you can't do that, then my opinion stands.
That's really high, 38%. I'm gonna have to
check
that out.
I don't have any knowledge of it, so that's why I haven't co-signed or disputed, because I don't know. So,
but that goes back to one of my answers. There's far more women out here than men. So some of the women like, shoot, forget it. I'm gonna just date a girlfriend. These men ain't acting right anyway. And these girls are looking real good on Instagram anyway. So
let me answer this too. Christopher, how you doing? Say, talk about when you do provide as a man and the woman still ain't happy. Well, I'm going to say that I mean, something wrong with her, but I also want to say that's not all women. See, we cannot take the amount of people, unless some of us more than others have dated a lot of people. But you can't take the people you dated and apply that to everybody, because you have not dated everybody. Now, I also have heard you are with who you with because that's who you attract. Water seeks its own level, and so do people, whether you like it or not. Because, and I'm not saying this is true for you, Christopher, because I don't know what happened to you, but a lot of times you hear people complain about the type of men they attract and the type of women they attract. And it's like, well, why are you attracting those type of people? Are you asking questions? Are you just getting stuck on the booty? Are you getting stuck on his wallet? Like, are you finding out about this person? And more than likely, no, you're not, because we know most of the time when you're dating somebody, they probably gonna send their representative first. The hey, how you doing? I'm perfect. I got everything together and all of that. And then a couple of weeks is like, what happened to the person that I met? You know, so I think we have to ask ourselves a personal question: what am I doing to attract those type of people? Because you have people saying, "Oh, I'm a good woman." They have people saying I'm a good man. And we hear a lot of people saying that. Well, it's like, if all these good women and good men are out there, why do we keep hearing about the bad ones? So to say that, you know, most black women are this way or most black women that black men are that way, that can't be true. That's just your experience, I would think. Let's see here. Yahuda, you want to add on to that, or is have anything to say? I'm just going down to these comments. You guys, the link is open. Now, when other people want to come up, I'm going to have to drop some people down because sometimes it gets a little bit convoluted. Facts, not feelings. How you doing? He says, your stats are propaganda. And, you know, I like I said, I don't have any intel about it at all. I will try to look before we get off of here just to see what I can find. But
I have something to add to that, though.
Sure.
It's a lot of about the thing about the stats. Thing is, it's an old saying that the pen is the mightiest weapon that law enforcement has against us as black people. Because say even if a false call is made to the police on you, the police write down whatever they want in their report, even make something up if they want to. And then they get you in the jam for something you didn't do. That's what happened to me. The police rolled down a false report on me, and I ended up on 3 years probation, and I couldn't find a job until after I got off probation. It's not until after I got off probation I started praying things. I was contemplating selling my soul to the devil for years while I was on probation because I was so miserable without my own money. And thing is, it's not until I got a job that I started relying on the man upstairs for everything, and actually prayed to the man upstairs in order to make things start looking up, even though it's still on my record now, but it don't look as bad as it did when I was on probation. It just shows up as an arrest now. It doesn't show up as a felony.
So I just look. No, not go ahead. No, go ahead.
I got a felony behind the police lying on their police report and put on 3 years probation and couldn't find a job for anything.
And I hate that happened to you, but yeah, that's unfortunately is not rare. And Arson, how you doing? Michael, I see you. I'm gonna bring you up in just a second. Arson, you say they asked you a question. They asked you exactly 38%. Which pool is it from? The Black U.S. population or from the entire U.S.? And what I just put in what percentage of Black men are incarcerated in the U.S. And it says an estimated 28.5% of Black men. It says 16% of Hispanic and 4.4% of white are expected to serve.
My apologies. I was off by 10%. So 28%, regardless, is still high. Regardless. I mean, if you want to argue the exact number, it's still freaking high. Like, I don't understand what you don't understand or whoever doesn't understand.
Hold on. Wait, there's more. Okay. Hold on. Let me finish reading. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so this says, what is the incarceration rate for Blacks in the U.S.? It says you can also see selection of our best original research on this topic, and this is this website. Racial justice page, key statistic percentage of Black Americans in the U.S., general U.S. population is 13%, plus of the people in prison or jail who are Black are 38%. So that's Black people in general but 28% of the U.S. population is black men that are in prison or jail.
Yeah, that's almost 1/3 of Black American men.
Hopefully, you guys are satisfied now.
So you have the right number, but that was applicable to both black men and women. But it says 28%.
That would mean 10%.
That's pretty high.
Yeah. Y'all continue.
Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
We're doing well. What you got on the conversation?
Yes, I'd like to speak to Jalen's point about 38% of black men who are incarcerated. See, that has an interesting point. Regardless if her statistic is off by 10 percentage points or not, the real problem is the system and policies that have incarcerated black men, for so many years, and the effects of slavery still continue. Because, thank you. Yes, because. Oh, that's true that a lot of black men are hardworking. They're very are hardworking. They bring home bacon. Unfortunately, the police make false claims against black men, or they look suspicious in front of the police eyes, just that they can fill the quota or fill the racial quota for the courts, DAs. And I think that's the main problem why a lot of black men account for higher arrests. And what the DAs and police don't realize is that the evidence they collect is actually false, or it's not legit. So everything is really not based on the evidence. It's really based on suspicion and fear. And this is like nothing new. And I'm glad Jalen brought that up to bring a big picture, because I think she understands. And I'm sure all of you guys have experience with the way how the system is operated for so many years. So it's not that black women don't want black men. The problem is the system that wants to tear down the black men from being integrated or to raising, families by themselves independently. Because we also have to talk about the fact that white supremacy is really, really permeating, is really destroying the black community, because white men and white women, they don't want to see black families united, especially white men, because white men know that if black families are united, that means for white men, they're going to lose power and control over black men. And that's why the effects of slavery, still continues to this day for over 400 years and counting. And speaking about, entitlement, I don't want to say today's generations are entitled, but we need to understand why the trends are changing for millennials, Gen Zs. Millennials and Gen Zs are not entitled. The problem is that it's the policies, practices, procedures that were put by older generations who came before baby boomers. It's really the kind of generation. Thank you.
So, and I appreciate that, Michael. I kind of let me jump in here. It's hot in here in Houston. It is 100+ degrees. Lord have mercy. And my air is on. I'm trying to be a good.
I'm in Houston too, by the way.
I appreciate that response too, Mr. Was it Chris Dukes?
Which one was that?
Whoever just responded. I'm trying to add him on my Facebook. It sounds like an intelligent brother to me.
I'm way down in Georgia.
Are you talking about Michael that was just speaking?
That was Michael?
Yeah, Michael.
Is he still on here?
Yeah, he's still on here.
Man, I appreciate that response, man. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was trying to conjure up the same expression, and you landed it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I didn't want to make anyone offended, so I just figured I'll let.
No, we're not offended, and Michael is Asian, and he's a big contributor to the show, and he's been on here for a while, so we love and appreciate Michael and his input. He does understand what we in the Black community need. I want to address Donovan's comment. You say, are women willing to reset the community to Black men leadership? So I'm trying to understand that comment, Donovan. If is that the way you wrote it?
Yeah. What I'm trying to do is get back into the topic of, are we willing to move the community forward and reset the community?
Are women willing to hold on a second? Are women willing to reset the community to Black men leadership? So I guess
isn't there already?
Can I throw something in there, sister?
Hold on, because I'm trying to come to a train of thought. Hold on one second. because I guess I'm trying to understand exactly what you're saying, Donovan. So are you trying to say that will we allow y'all to lead? Is that where you're going
Correct.
with it?
Correct. The natural order of things is men are leaders and women are the helpers.
So can I ask y'all a question? And I'm not trying to be funny. If you were leader, why are you asking? Why aren't
Thank you? Oh, you nailed it.
Why you asking me? If you the man and you supposed to be the leader, why are you asking me? Why don't you just lead? See, that's the problem, especially in our community. Y'all acting like we stopping y'all from leading. We're not stopping y'all from leading. What you asking me for? Because then you ask me and I say, hell no, you can't lead.
A lot of women don't want to be led.
Right.
We don't want to be. We don't want to be. Hold on.
Let's
Can we
ask some
rephrase
questions,
that?
D.
Sister, you nailed it.
Look,
Are you led by a man, Demetri?
A Lady 747 says, Donovan, Black women are not going to quit our jobs. That's what I'm talking about.
Wait, hold on a second.
Oh,
wait, hold
fatality.
on. Hold on. Y'all remember, if we all speak and we can't hear, Judah, Yahuda, do you want to ask me a question?
Are you led by a man?
No, I'm not led by a man because I wait a minute, hold on now.
No, don't go there.
Wait, hold on.
Not you. There's plenty of them out there that want you now. You don't want them.
That is true. You ain't supposed to want everybody that wants you. Now let's keep it a buck. But hold on, let me fill that in. I don't have a man under the roof with me, but I am led by a man. That is my daddy. I still take leadership from my dad watches this show out every day. So I don't have to lie. I take leadership from my father. I'm 52 years old. My daddy's 79 years old. My daddy still could tell me what to do. And most of the wisdom that I have nowadays comes from my daddy. I listen to my dad. My daddy will tell you right now to all his children. He said this to me the other day, and he said it to me before. Out of all my children, he said, you're the one that's most like me. Out of all my children, you are the one that listens to me and teaches from what I have taught you. So I'm one of those people. I don't believe that it has to be my man. I do believe that women should be under some leadership of a man, whether it's her father, it's an uncle, it's somebody, right? Because I don't think women should just be out there, especially when it comes for things like protection. But I take a lot of wisdom from my father, so I'm not one of those women that cannot take directive. And you can ask my ex-fiance, he'll tell you that I took direction. You can't tell me what to do and none of that kind of stuff. And matter of fact, no man I was with will ever tell you I was that type of woman. They just did not want to, be in a relationship for whatever reason. That has nothing to do with me.
Well, that's good. You're unlike a lot of women today. You're a lot different. A lot of women would disagree with you. Every woman needs to be up under some type of leadership of a man. Girl, what you talking? They will be mad at you.
You need to get into the generation.
But let me
speak on the generation, like what the sister, what she's saying. Okay. Either she is baby boomer. I don't know. Depend. If you were born after 64, you're not a baby boomer. You're Gen X. Okay. Things were different with our rearing. You see what I'm saying? You got the Gen Z and the Gen Xers that are making all these talking points that feel they deserve what they want without the work. That's the foundation of it all. It has nothing to do with racism, systemic racism, post-traumatic slave disorder, as they're calling it, slavery disorder, all those doggone dog whistle points. Be an adult and conduct yourself as a grown individual, and your life will be all right.
And I want to say this too. My brother that comes on here every Wednesday, my brother tells me what to do. I have a younger brother that's 10 years younger than me. He could tell me what to do. I got very wise men in my life, my daddy, my brothers. I listen to them. My brother Walter tell you right now, he had to snatch me up a couple of times, from things that I might have said or wanted to do. It was one time on here when he was actually here, and I went like that to him to kind of, say, well, let me talk. He said, don't do that to me. Now, y'all didn't see me say, you don't be talking to me like that. I said, oh, okay, go ahead. Because he was like, no, you're not going to shut me down. That's inappropriate.
How
But
many of you guys saw me say that to Demetra? I'm talking right now, woman.
Whoa, sucker. Jay Joa, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. But the point that I'm making is, I think we need to understand there's a lot of things that for whatever reason that we in our day and age don't understand about relationships. The other thing too is it's out of order. So a lot of times, and I'm speaking to myself too, we get in relationships with people we're not committed to. Now, when I say committed, I mean we ain't jumped over no broom. We ain't married. You know, we call ourselves one thing or the other. So we should get into a position to where we are married, and that way we can really say, all right, now I'm really gonna follow your leadership or whatever the case is. But I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be uncomfortable for some men, unfortunately, and for whatever reason. A lot of brothers cannot sustain a household and take care of the woman and the children in the house for whatever reason, right? So I get that. Mm-hmm. But don't expect for that woman to go out there and bust a hustle with you, pay half of the bills, and then bow down at your feet and all that other stuff. Now, a woman worth her weight, she gonna take care of you and all that other stuff, but you can't treat her subservient just because you a man. Now, I'm one of those women that even if I am working and you are working, I'm gonna recognize you as the head of the household. I don't have a problem with that at all. But there's things that you have to do as well. Now, I know we get sick of hearing the qualifiers that, when we hear women say, yeah, I'm going to follow him, but he got to be followable, if that, makes any sense. But it's just the truth. Don't think because you a man and you got a couple of more things on your body than I got that I'm just supposed to just acquiesce everything you saying. No, you got to be in a position for me to do that. Just like you want, there's things that I want from you, right? I got to be in a position to receive that as well. As a man, you're not going to just bring any old woman home and and she don't have to do nothing. You want her to do something for what she's getting from you, so it's a give and a take.
But can I add to that real fast?
Yes, you can.
Go ahead. All right, so basically, based off my personal experience with relationships today, I dated my age and up to 3 years old. I have 6 exes. But thing is, with my exes that I had, all of them left me because I was too nice. They said there was nothing wrong with me except I was too nice. And I never knew there was such thing as too nice until I started dating. And that was after I graduated. And then thing is, they all left me. But then when they left, this is why I don't understand. They left me, but then after they left me, they still wanted to get intimate with me after they left. And I said no, because I didn't want to conceive a child out of wedlock. And I just don't get
that comes from previous abuse that a lot of black people, not just women, a lot of blacks have had abuse, sexual, physical, emotional abuse coming up. That's a whole different animal, see? And that needs to be dealt with. And if people go and get therapy and work their deal out, they'll be all right. I mean, just to go into, myself, okay? I had PTSD when I was 3 years old. My first childhood memory in Chicago is my brother and some of his friends getting gunned down on the 4th of July when I thought I was going to be took to watch fireworks. First one. Then you had, my dad passed away after that. The man my mom was with, they go to play cards, get to sipping, come home fighting. Then an amazing thing happened when I was in kindergarten. I caught a cold. I was given this cough medicine, and I discovered it makes me sleep through the whole night. So whenever they would get up to go play cards at a card party, I would sneak into the pantry and drink some of this stuff. Now, at that time, cough medicine had codeine in it. So I ended up, I'm 6 years old. I'm in Michael Reese Hospital in Chicago in the recovery ward because I'm a codeine addict at 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. See, I mean, I wrote a book about my life and, self-published it. And you have a lot of situations of abusive things that have happened. And while I was in Michael Reese Hospital, I was molested by one of the interns. So all of that compiled up with a lack of therapy and getting that out, becoming a victor opposed to
Bro, I get
living the
what you're
life
saying.
of a victim. You see what I'm
what you-
saying? And that's why I'll be on YouTube and I have no shame in telling my story, because I don't know who's listening, and what I said about my life experience may just help them have the courage to go and talk to somebody and get that out. See, once you get that out of your system and you can talk about it, you can manage it, because children are suckers for blaming themselves for everything that happened. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. Children don't look at things with the adult mindset. And see, from all of those abusive situations in the home, whereas you had the uncle doing this and the girl went and told somebody, and they just, no. They didn't want to tell nobody because it's a taboo subject. A lot of families they'll get over it eventually. No, they'll get over it eventually doesn't work. There is doggone therapy that is necessary for people to become a whole individual. Because see, I noticed with me in my dating, like the sister said, you attract what you are. A number of women that I dated were women, black women. Let me put black women in there because there ain't no white women. Black women that were victims of the same type of sexual or physical trauma. You see what I'm saying? So once people get that out their system and become an emotionally, for some people spiritually, healthy human being, then they could go and make things happen. You know what I mean?
Right. So and I appreciate your story of you being, very honest about what happened to you. And I hate that happened to you. But yeah, we do need to heal. We all have different traumas and things that we really just have not taken the opportunity to heal from. So I love that you were honest in that way. But let me address Brother Samuel. How you doing? It says Sister Demetra is telling you the solution behind her elevated thinking, coming from being raised by her pioneer. And it's my father, the Nation of Islam father. This modern Pharaoh conditioning wasn't the main influence. Absolutely. My father's been Nation of Islam since he was 19 years old. So also being born into the nation, those are the teachings that I have. So I'm smart enough to know that I am under the leadership of my father, right? And my dad will tell you, I'm the man in your life until one come along, okay? I'm the first man in your life, and I'm gonna be that until further notice. And I'm like, that's right, Daddy. So, so
the NOI, the base foundation of the NOI out of Chicago is 8 blocks from where I grew up in a straight line. 8 blocks.
Absolutely. Black America. And Jalen, jump in right after Black America. I'm going to bring up Ragnar. Mute your mic. Put you up here. Ooh, we got a full house today, buddy.
All right. Good. I'm back. I was actually on my bike and I heard the things that Jalen says. And I'm sorry, young lady, you are completely wrong. Actually, there was a show just did on it today. The Medium Man just did a show on the stats of people in prison today. It is 1.9 million total people incarcerated in America today. Black, white, men, women, and children. There are 22 million black men and, like 22 and a half, 23 million black women. So 37% you're completely off base. Now, my question to you would be, I understand as it sounds like you're a young woman. Do you not like black men, or do you have a problem with black men? Where would you be getting information from like that that would be so disheartening towards black men?
What are you talking about? I have no hate towards black men. Literally none. I date black men. Have no hate. So I don't know what
No,
you're
no,
talking
no, no. That's not what I said. I said, where would you get some information like that that would be so disheartening that to hear
How is
something that would be, hold on 1 second. To hear
mhm.
somebody say, another black person, to say that a third of us, and I've been in prison, okay, to hear that a third of us, a young woman even say, a third of you guys are in prison, almost, more than a quarter. Where would you get information from like that? Wrong information,
Okay, but lady, hold on. Wait, hold
misinformation.
on. Hold on, my brother. You're gonna have to come up off the gas just a little bit. Just a little bit. Give her an opportunity to answer. But I will say this. I Googled it. It wasn't a hard search. Your numbers were off by 10%, 38%. I don't know who that was. 38% was in regards to the black population together. But it did say 28%. So it is on the internet. So go ahead, Jalen.
I mean, there's plenty of research articles you could find on the internet. Pew Research Center, the NIH. There's plenty of research articles out there regarding the incarceration rates. Divides it into gender, ethnicity, whatever you need to find for research papers, etc. It's on the internet. I have no type of vendetta. It's how do I phrase this? The question was essentially, I was answering Demetra's question, and what I said was in response to the men on here saying that women are masculine and all of this other stuff. However, black men have their own issues as well that they need to address amongst each other. That's all. That's my whole point. I'm not trying to say black men are horrible, black men are this, black men are that. I'm just stating the fact that black men have just as many problems as black women, and they need to be able to help each other to address them.
Right.
Now, if that's a problem, I apologize. Not really, but I apologize if it affected you or made you feel like that I
No,
was
no. I'm not saying that it affected me. What I'm saying is that it was completely wrong. And to come up here on a panel full of black people, it's all black love here. And so I'm older than you. I'm quite sure. I'm Demetra and Donovan's age. And it is my job as an elder to give you correct information, to let you know where to go get the correct information. And when you get the correct information, how to disseminate it. See, when you came up here, you said 37 or 38% of black men were in prison. So, and you say it's all kind of, when you do the research, and Demetra just did a quick search, you look for yourself. You have to realize that
Black America. I think you're going a little bit too hard in the paint on Jalen, because I don't know if you missed where she said that she stood corrected, that she did have her numbers wrong. She did say that. So I guess I'm a little bit confused why you are perturbed.
I didn't hear her say that she was wrong.
Did y'all hear her say that?
She said it. She said it.
Yeah, she said it. Yeah.
people thought I said it in an egotistical
give
way,
her a
but yes, I
pass.
did.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
I
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. I apologize. Hey, I know how to apologize. My mama used to beat me.
Is that what we need to do, huh? We need to beat you?
She wasn't going in on black men. She wasn't going in on us.
No,
we need to give her a pass.
Question though.
No, you can't see, and that's the problem, dude. We cannot keep giving people passes.
I would accept it.
Right.
I didn't want to pass.
Right, and she did. But my thing is, gentlemen, we can't give somebody a pass every time. See that? Hold on, Demetra. Hold on 1 second. Let me explain this just one thing, and then you can rock. We can't keep giving these ladies and young ladies passes, because that's what we're doing. If you look all on the internet, this type of information is out, making us as men look bad. Black men, she said, almost 50% of them are almost going to be in poverty. 54% of black men are in the middle class. Like, if you look at the top 20 black businesses, it's only 2 black women on there. Black men specifically make more than black women. We are doing good. We need to give ourselves a pat on the back. We can't let things like this slide. And when it comes to it, it's like a correction. I'm sorry if it feel like I'm getting down on the young lady. I don't mean to be getting down on you, but this is how men speak. When we speak with each other, if Donovan's starting to get pudgy around the middle, I'm gonna tell him he's a fat ass and he needs to go to the gym. We need to correct bad behavior.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Behavior.
Now I'm confused. Bad behavior?
Ragnar, I got you right after Jalen. You coming up right next. Okay, go ahead.
Can you elaborate on are you speaking towards me, or are you speaking in general about bad behavior?
You know what? We're gonna be here forever with that one, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Black America.
You want me to answer, D, or just no? Okay.
Ragnar, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, ma'am. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, first, what I mean by giving her a pass, I mean, the gentleman's right. We shouldn't be giving everyone a pass. What I mean by giving her a pass is because we know who she is, and we're giving her opportunity to be with us and stay with us so she can get the knowledge. We don't want to run her away, is what I'm saying. We don't want to give her the wrong opinion about being wrong about something. She's wrong. Oh yeah, she's wrong in a lot of ways, but we don't want to run her away. And here's what I mean by that. You can't lie to somebody that knows. Let me say it again. You can't lie. You can't lie.
Wait, hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish.
You can't lie to somebody that knows. I'm from 3rd Ward. I'm from Houston. I'm from near Scott and Yellowstone. You can't talk to me about what black women think about black men because I know. You can't talk to me about what black women think about good black men because I know. So when you're a good black man and you're looking for a good woman, I'd say get your passport. That time has passed for you to find a good woman that's going to take care of you and be a woman. These women have been out here in the environment. They have to buck up. They have to be masculine. They have to survive. And we have to understand that. So if you are going to deal with the women from where I'm from, just know that's what you're going to get, because they've been out there in the jungle fighting, struggling, trying to survive. And I'll leave it at that.
All right, I just wanted to say
that's some of that passport bro Murlocky.
Wait, hold on.
Okay?
Hold on.
Right there. I was like, you know what? If you look at this, you know what you don't see? You don't see me going to any countries that use pesos as a denomination. I only travel to countries that the euro is the monetary standard. So miss me with that. Go to these poor countries, these 3rd world countries with American money, rather, that's doggone 3 to 5 times the value of the money in that country. Of course, a woman is going to act right.
Wow. Hold on now. Listen, I didn't want to go off on that avenue. Yehuda, what was you gonna say? I'm just trying to stay neutral, because if I open my mouth, it's gonna be a wrap.
He interrupted, so we have to go back to the other gentleman to allow him to comment, and then I'll go ahead and speak to what the gentleman was talking about.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Okay, so Yehuda.
I'm not defending the lady. She was making a point. Her statistics were a little off, but her point is very valid and necessary. It's essential to the conversation. One reason that a lot of women have become masculine is because it's hard to find a good man. One reason it's hard to find a good man because it is a lot of black men in jail. It might not be to the extent she said, but yes, that's one reason. A lot are in jail, and it's that makes it complicated. I mean, so let's not say she was talking negative against us. She was actually just bringing out a strong point. There's not a lot out there. A lot of women are saying our options are closed. There's not a lot of good men. Some women feel like that. Men like that too.
Oh, Dimitri, I just like to add something. Oh, sorry. I don't want to interrupt. Yeah, I just want to add. Like,
I'm sorry if I interrupted, but I never said what country for anybody to go to. All I said was to get a passport. I've been around the world. I was in the military for 21 years. I spent 5 years of my life outside the country. I'm speaking from experience. I didn't marry someone from outside the country. But what I'm telling you is...
I'm speaking from being an Iraq-Afghanistan war veteran. I'm a combat veteran. Hello.
Okay,
let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. If we talk about military, let's get it.
Yeah.
And Leonard,
we're not
I love you. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I love your contributions, but you cannot interrupt. We cannot have no military. Wait. We can't have no military who banging on here, okay? I thank y'all for y'all service and everything like that. But to talk about what set you rep in the military, we don't need to do that. Ragnar, continue, and then Michael, you're gonna chime in.
So what I'm saying is, I never said what country to go to. What I'm saying is, you can find what you're looking for. The reason you're not finding it in the neighborhoods of, let's just say Chicago. I've never lived there, but I've been there. If you're looking for a good woman in Chicago, you got to realize what she's been dealing with. She's been out there in the jungle. She can't be in her feminine self just going to 7-Eleven or going to Circle K, going to a store. No, she's got to buck up. She's out there in the jungle. So you have to realize who you're meeting. If you want to meet someone that's feminine, you can't really do that in the environment you're in. So if you're in that type of environment, you can leave that environment and go find what you want, is all I'm saying.
Absolutely. And ain't nothing wrong with third world countries, my man. Africa, a lot of blacks are realizing it's time to go back, man. It's time.
So I guess that's why you got so many Africans coming to the United States to get their come up on money-wise.
Well, yeah, they want to retire here and then go back there to spend that money.
Michael, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say something that JW, she admitted that the statistical figure she got was like incorrect. It's not her fault. It's actually the researchers who gathered data among people incarcerated. So we cannot really blame JW because I'm sure she did a lot of research. Unfortunately, because research, there's always going to be a plus and minus when the data comes out. So it's not going to be like it's not going to be exact, but it's going to be like an estimate. So I think we need to be focused on the estimate because the estimates gives us an idea how the data was collected from researchers at NIH, Pew, because anyone from research institutions can I don't want to say fabricate, but they can kind of like spin the numbers around a little bit. So sometimes it could be off, but the methods was probably correct. But maybe like gathering data, how the data was done, how the researchers interviewed people incarcerated. Did they use qualitative studies, quantitative studies, surveys? So we really need to take this into deep consideration. And also speaking about what the guys in the red said, that a lot of Africans are coming to America. According to studies and multiple studies, very few Africans are coming to the West. They're not coming to America or Europe. They're actually staying in Africa to build. What Lionel Yahudu said, because coming to America is like moving from one burning house to another burning house. So it's better to build as well. And then Ragnar, if I said your name correctly, and I want to speak to what the guys in the red, that a lot of third world countries are not that great. Actually, third world countries are booming. They're rising. You probably don't realize that not. So the US dollar is actually stretching out more to third world countries than they are to America and Europe, because the cost of living to buy land is cheaper. To buy a home is cheaper. So we have to factor in the we have to factor in how people are migrating, the age of the demographics, people's occupation. Why are they migrating from one country to another? In addition to establishing financial security, entrepreneurs, are they moving because they want a different culture of life? Do they want a better work-life balance where they don't have to fear every day from police brutality, looking left, looking right, looking back, looking forward? And also that we cannot blame Black women for being masculine, and what Ragnar said, because the environment plays a key role, and not only the environment plays a key role, but policies that influence the environment. Because if you go back, like I said earlier, 400, 500 years during slavery, of course, Black women were separated. It was by design. It was on purpose, because the slave masters did not want Black families to be united, because they're considered, if they're united, that means there's going to be a revolt against the slave masters. So we have to understand why Black ladies are like that. Not their fault, but we have to consider the thought process, policies, as well as like where they're at. And I'm sure a lot of Black women want to become feminine, but the question we need to ask ourselves is, and I'm sure you guys can relate to that, and I can't, obviously, if Black men want to be leaders in the community, right, and you want to be respected as a collective, do you think maybe there's a different approach to be a leader, especially in today's? Because if you're, I mean, there's nothing wrong being a leader, being firm, but when you're being too excited, too rowdy, or yelling to get women to listen, women are going to be turned off. And I'm not saying that you should not be firm. Yes, you can be firm, but at the same time, you have to think about being diplomatic at the same time, but staying on point. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
let the church say.
add something real quick.
Wait, hold on. You cut me off in the middle of me. I was about to,
I'm sorry.
Let the church say amen.
Amen.
I'm sorry. Usually I don't say this. I know. Yeah, I apologize.
Let me say this too. Brother Samuel, you say pointing out the percentage of Black men in jail is not necessarily a put down on Black men. It speaks also to unjust laws and systems in place that are designed to produce those results. Put things in context and don't miss the hidden hand. We must also rise above emotions into the rational, mathematical thinking of God. Period. All right. So Leonard?
Mm-hmm. Now, let me give you something that my aunt that just turned 98 years old today, born in 1925, Louisiana, what she told me. And this was years ago. She said, you got a lot of women. She didn't say Black women. She just said women. She said, you got a lot of women. They acting like the way they acting because that go all the way back to slavery. I'm like, how so? She said, you got to look at the order. You had the slave master. You had the overseer. Who was the third in charge? Mammy. I was like, oh, that's deep.
But you know what, though?
Mammy was the third in charge. Yes. So when they talk about women trying to whatever over men, if people are taking it back to the slavery days, Mammy was number 3, if not, they had some between number 4 in charge over everybody. Mammy ran the whole you dig, as they say in Chicago. They call it the you dig when you lack a word to accurately describe what you're saying. They say the you dig. So that's where it comes from. That's like generational repetition of a place in leadership in the Black American community. Stop me when I lie.
Well, and let me jump in here too. And Donovan, Jalen, if y'all have something to say. No, I talk about that a lot as well. That's the way it's always been. The relationship between black men and women in America. The black woman was always put above the black man. Like you said, since slavery, she was put to rule over him. I read a book a couple of years back, and it talked about that. It said, even if you look back into the movies back in the day, you know, when they had the mammies and the butlers and stuff like that, they said, even if you look at the relationship between them, the mammy was always talking to the, you know, the butler was a black man as well. Crazy, shut up, you fool. Oh, you're so stupid. You an idiot. Oh, you don't know nothing. And that's how that was just put into movies, but that's how it was. Like you said, she was to rule over him, but it was done that way to emasculate the black man. Now, after slavery, that changed some, because, you know, we had the building of Black Wall Street and everything else that went on, where the black woman was now, and I'm not meaning to be derogatory again, I hate that I even have to say that, but she was put under the black man in that he was the leader, right? She, I would imagine, was able to be a little bit more feminine. She stayed at home. She took care of the house, the kids, and all that, because they were building a community, owned and operated their own businesses and things like that. Of course, we know what happened throughout history. But yeah, I love that you said that. And I think you said your aunt, that's
98-year-old woman. I can't dispute that. She saw it, lived it. You know, my great grandparents. I mean, like I said, I'm Louisiana Creole, so when it comes to reparation for slavery and all that, I don't have a dog in the fight, because I come from what they call today free people of color.
Right, but let me say this, because I know we're running out of time. So that we know that, and yes, Sister B, post-traumatic slave syndrome. Dr. Joy DeGruy has a series in a book I read. I actually gave it to my younger nephew so he could read it, and she talked about that beautifully. But now that we know that, what are we gonna do about it? You know what I mean? What are we gonna do to actually flip that to where men are the leaders in the community, and women, as you guys would say, can rest in her femininity and all that other stuff, and not be masculine? Because I'll tell you right now, it's a hard job as a woman to lead and to, you know, be a helm of the household and all that. It's hard. So we need to figure out how to switch that, and so that we can be like every other community that is not led predominantly by the woman, is led predominantly by the man. Donovan?
Not really much to say. Again, I mean, you know, we can talk about it, we can fantasize about it, we can wish it into existence, and everybody's going to have their opinion on it. But you got to first have a community before you talk about the community. So number one, we need to start reinforcing each other and realizing that we need each other. Black women and black men, we need each other at the end of the day. But right now, we just don't have a community. How do we not have a community? Wherever there is a Democrat in control, have you guys noticed gentrification takes place? If you got a Democratic representative in your neighborhood and there's gentrification taking place, I guarantee you there's a Democratic representative in that neighborhood. So they are breaking the neighborhoods up, which is also benefiting to us not having community. So the question is this: either we unite and stand together, or it's a wrap. It's as simple as that. All this black man, black woman, this, that, forget all that. Forget all that. We are in the fourth quarter. It's the 2-minute drill at this point. If you guys, if you guys are out there and going to give the Democratic Party 4 more years to bring in other people to replace you, we can't even compete for the basic entry-level jobs for the country. That's what really kept a lot of our fathers and grandfathers afloat. They'd go, you know, do the menial jobs, picking up trash or being, you know, trash, whatever the menial jobs were. Now they're bringing in other groups to do that. We gotta do better, period. And men, and I'm going to speak to the men because I am one. Stop with the BS excuses of my father wasn't in my life. I was raised by my mama. So what? So what? You're a man. Deal with it. Do the best you can. Take care of your business, period.
Man, brother, you on fire.
Wow.
He on fire.
Yes.
especially about them doggone Democrats, because I don't mess with them. That's my team.
Oh my God, you gonna start a fight on here?
That's my team. You dig?
We
I
do.
show receipts. I don't just make it up as I go along.
All right now. All right. So we're gonna get out here. Read the last of these comments. Easy says, "Stop whining." Period. Yes, indeed. And Rain, if I didn't already, how you doing? Says, "Yep, I live in New York City. They're sending illegal border immigrants to Philadelphia, another black city. Yep, and I heard they're also sending them to Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they're kind of already there, but even more so." And Brother Samuel says, "I like that solutions. Normally, when we don't have solutions, we consistently fix the blame." Says we must move beyond fixing the blame to fixing the problem. I love that. We do. I mean, it's really that simple. And let's see here. And Arneva says, "Your team don't like you, though." You talk about the MAGA team don't like you. You ain't got to respond. Just putting it on out. Just read the comment.
Sister, can I respond about, you didn't mention Chicago. Can I respond about Chicago and the immigrants?
If you can do it in 30 seconds.
Yes, I can. You've got 2 schools that the city of Chicago could not fund in the black area, in Woodlawn and South Shore, and they just didn't have the funding. But where they housing them immigrants? In those same schools in South Shore and Woodlawn, because they came up with $51 million of funds from somewhere. Democrat ran. The last time it was a doggone Republican president, and a Republican rather, mayor of Chicago. The last one they had, he left office in 1931. Hello.
Yes, indeed. All right, so we love and appreciate y'all. Yeah, Mike, nice. If I didn't already, how you doing? He says, "Tell it Tuesday." And Stacy said, "That's a damn shame." So anyway, we love and appreciate y'all. We're gonna get out of here. I'm melting.
That reminds me of Speak On It. Isn't that what that Candy Barrels has? That Speak On It. Tell it Tuesday.
Right.
Yep, speak on it. And I got another hat too. I ain't just got one now. I got about 4 or 5 hats.
Oh, you said you been about that life, huh? Okay, so facts not feelings.
I didn't vote for Harold Washington in Chicago. I've been about that Republican life.
Oh God. Let's see. Facts not feelings says, "I have a solution. Since black women can't seem to choose good men, black communities should create a system to have arranged relationships and marriages based on similar economic and social positions." You know what? I don't hate that idea. I'm trying to get my daughter on board with that. She's like, "Are you kidding me?"
No. I went to Afghanistan and we went over there to liberate those women who have to be in marriages and they can't go to school and they can't do that. But notice the minute they get to the United States or to the West, you don't see them leaving their husbands or anything of that nature. But
hello.
Absolutely. So anyway,
now, sister, can I add you something else in 30 seconds?
20.
You ever heard of the Blue Vein Society?
I have not. Is that white people?
Okay. The Blue Vein Society, the way you become a member is you got to be, because this is my Georgia tan, you got to be light skinned and extend your arm and they can see the blue veins in your arm and you're in. The Blue Vein Society. Look it up on YouTube, sister. Look at the Blue Vein Society. That tell you a lot too.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We can be here forever, but we won't. But of course, we'll be back here with Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. He's been missing in action for a couple of weeks too, but that's my fault. So we'll be back here with Walter. Walter's a lot of fun, and some people absolutely do not like a lot of things that he says. But you know what, though? It's tight, but sometimes, most of the time, is right. So anyway, we'll be back. You guys, if you want, you can donate to the channel. We love and appreciate that as well. But until Wednesday, you guys have a great evening and stay cool because it's still almost 100 degrees here. Peace.
All right. Yeah, Walter and I need to be YouTube friends because we think alike.
Yeah, y'all do.